Go. Hello and welcome everyone to the Medicare Cafe. I am Mike.
And I'm Sadie.
Yes, Upgradey Sadie is joining us today for a light roast, meaning we're doing a training all week on the Medicare Cafe, the Crosslink Symposium. So today we thought we'd just let our hair down, relax, answer any questions you might have. What are you seeing in the market? What's happening out there? We got a couple subjects to cover, but again, kind of a light roast, kind of a light touch on these things. So it's really more about the question we wanted to pose. If you were sitting and having coffee with myself and Sadie, and you're probably wondering, what is Mike doing here? I just need Sadie here. She's the smart one. But what is one question you would definitely want to ask us? So put that in the question area, and we would love to answer that for you. Hello, Rick. Glad to see you're here. You are missing beautiful snowy weather here in mid-Missouri. But while we're waiting for those questions to roll in, how's your OEP going right now? We're halfway through. More than likely, you're not going to see a whole lot of simulation in OEP. It's really going to be, oh, I screwed up. My doctor's not network. I don't like this plan. I'm confused. It's going to be correction at this point through the end of March. That's what we've seen at the tail end of OEP. You may see something different, but again, most people don't know about it because they don't advertise it. So it's more of a correction time for us agents and our clients.
Mm-hmm. I know that our support team has been talking about the beginning of OEP. Of course, they were super busy, and now they're starting to notice the questions aren't rolling in quite as much. So hopefully everything's going over nice and smooth as we kind of come up towards the end of it. We're kind of halfway through, right?
Yeah, and I'm on the bandwagon of I wish they'd let PDP correct in OEP for the mere fact that it's unique that you have to roll into insurance plan in AEP. So from October to December, you have to roll in insurance. And once you get it, you're locked in. And if you decide you don't like it in January or February when you actually start to use it, you can't change it. So it's like you have to sign it to see what's in it. Almost like that political speech that was a train wreck. But it's interesting that once you're in, that's it. So I am pushing for, hey, let's make sure we can get PDPs in this mix as well, because it's not fair to make seniors stay in a plan that they may have rolled in erroneously or maybe misguided through a telemarketer or a scrupulous insurance agent, or maybe they did it on their own and didn't realize what they were doing. So let's see. One more thing before we jump in these questions. One thing I've been seeing a lot of out there, and I've seen a couple states reporting on this, is that there are a lot of scams out there, as always. There's always Medicare scams in the marketplace. But we're seeing a lot more over vaccinations. Like people are calling seniors and saying, hey, we need your information to we can move you up the list for a vaccination. We just need to verify information. Can you give us your Medicare ID or this or that, yada, yada, yada. For $25, we could move you up the list if you want. And then of course, people are just divulging their credit card information and they're being scammed. So remind your clients, no one will call them on vaccinations. No one's going to ask for the credit card number or the phone. Just for anything like that. Yes, we have call centers and virtual agencies or agencies that work in person and over the phone. But if they're calling for something that sounds odd or different or not sure, tell them to hang up and call you. So we got a couple questions. One, I'm gonna read Rick's first. It made me laugh. Do you think Joe Namath can go into hibernation for 6 months after OEP? I'm sure he was paid enough to take the rest of the time off. For those of you who don't know, Joe Namath was obviously all over the television in AEP, advertising the Medicare Center or whatever the heck it was, some giant call center basically. Also,
Medicare Center. Let's clarify that real fast. Medicare Center is Integrity's platform that's sort of like the new Enrollment Express. So Joe Namath is not attached to that.
True, it was like the Medicare Information Center. It was something unspun like that, and that's where a lot of confusion hits. So it's like, it sounds like it's Medicare. It's got Medicare in the name. Of course,
Listen, in this industry, you can only get so creative with names. After a while, you're just going to be adding like "of" in between. So yeah,
that's true.
Center of Medicare. It's already a thing, but it's like only can get so creative with names.
Yeah, and Medicare.com is already taken by eHealth Insurance. So, it's very, you got to make sure you're on the right site. Medicare.net, Medicare.com, Medicare.gov, as we all know, is the original one. But yeah, you got to remember Mike Ditka was on there as well. So they're covering their bases for your mid 80s, superstars of sports. God bless
Is he that
them.
old?
What?
Is he that old?
Ditka, he ran, that was the 85 Bears, the Monsters of the Midway.
He's mid 80s?
No, mid 80s, like in the 80s,
Oh,
he
okay.
coached.
Okay, I got you. I was like, what? Okay, moving
Hold on,
on.
I'm gonna find out real quick. Since today's the light roast, hey Siri, how old is Mike Ditka? Thinking 81.
81.
So yeah, you
Okay,
go.
okay.
Medicare coverage hotline. Thank you, Corey. Yes, that was the Medicare coverage. Is Medicare something like that? There's lots of Medicare information, Medicare hotlines, Medicare info, Medicare data. I'm sure that everyone's grab that. Oh, I just started playing your video. So yes, so we'll probably see them again next AEP. Great question. Do you prefer phone calling appointments or door knocking? Of course, cold calling you can't do for Medicare Advantage or Part D plans. I was a door-to-door person, just because one, doors don't have caller ID. Two, I talk way too fast on the phone, and I didn't like talking on the phone. I'm easily distracted, so I would make a phone call and then do 1,000 other things and make another phone call and do 1,000 more things. So it really is what you can discipline yourself to do. A lot of people do phone because you can get a lot more people, especially if you're in a rural market where houses are 2 miles apart. If you work in a more urban setting or more populous setting, like I did in Kansas City, when you have rows and rows and rows of houses, it's easier to go door to door. But I like door to door. Again, it's whatever you feel most comfortable. Obviously, if you're in the Midwest and it's 5 degrees outside, door to door is not ideal. So there's lots of factors in there. Phone is a great default though. So don't forget, you can call your clients. You can call them and say, hey, how you doing? You staying safe? Yada, yada, yada. Make sure they know that you still exist. So don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call your clients as well. Or maybe people you talked to 6 months ago and said, hey, we talked 6 months ago. You doing okay? Yada, yada, yada. But I prefer door to door. If you are going to do phone, I would definitely check out sales dialers, and I would have a system going on. All you need is a headset and internet connection, which obviously you have, at least internet connection, and it dials 3 lines at once, and it comes with data. So you just plug it in, sit back, and start talking to people.
I can't
But
imagine doing phone calling any other way. Like if you aren't using like a phone system like that, it's just probably going to be a waste of your time, wouldn't you say? Like you're not going to be able to get, you're going to be sitting, you're going to get voicemails most of the time. So it's
yeah,
like if you're willing to invest in a system like that, definitely phone calls, I think, all around, especially right now in this time, like with COVID and stuff. And also just, I don't know, I feel like door knocking would be kind of scary. There's too much like you can't predict who's going to be on the other side of the door. Like you kind of can,
yeah.
but I don't know. Anyway, that's off track. I would say, yeah, if you're willing to invest in like a system like that, then it's worth your time, but I wouldn't even do it if you're not, you know?
Yeah, very, very true. I'm going to address this one because I honestly have no idea what the answer is. How is Social Security taxed when it relates to Part B IRMA, the income adjustment for if you are a higher income earner? No idea. I do know that the government will tax you, and I default all my tax questions to my CPA. So whenever I was asked anything about taxation in the field by a client, I said call a CPA, because if you give the wrong answer, and even if you're not culpable for the ramifications of your answer, they're still going to look at you bad. So I would say, you know what? I now don't do my own taxes. I have a CPA. I say, you know what? I can call my CPA and ask. But if you have IRMA, which means you're making more than the average bear, you're in the top 4%, you probably have a tax or CPA person. I would call them. That'd be Yeah, I don't claim to be an expert in taxes, and I never want to be honest with you. So yeah, talk to a CPA. Sorry, I wish I could tell you more, but I can tell you I know of people that are seniors and in that percentage, and they don't do their own taxes because they have enough money that they can hire someone else. I like this one, Matthew. What is the best book you could recommend on sales or marketing? I'm glad you asked. In fact, Sadie, if you want to think about that, I'll go grab a couple books.
Sure. I do know this might be one. Are you a big go for no person?
Yes, love it.
Mike? Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably one that you. What is that one? Gosh, the sales team went through one. It had something about cheese. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Who moved my cheese?
Yes, that one. Yes, I read parts and bits of that. I didn't get to do the whole book club that like our sales team here did, but that one seemed to be pretty solid from what people. I have to say, I have not done much reading in sales and whatnot, but that is part of my yearly goal this year, is to read
So
books.
I do a lot of Audible because I'm in the car a lot. So
I
I'd
love,
like to listen.
yeah.
One book I'm listening to right now actually is called Obsessed. Ta-da! There's two of these books called Obsessed. One's about a woman with OCD. That's not the book to buy unless you want to read about that. This is by Emily Hayward, and it is basically about how to brand yourself and what's involved in a brand and why people use you as opposed to other things. It's pretty good. I like it a lot. So Obsessed is one I'm listening to. See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar, classic book. Zig Ziglar. It's a little thick. Zig likes to go off on tangents and tell stories, but stories sell, and that people remember stories. Purple Cow for marketing is one of my favorite. And the premise is if you see a cow on the side of the road, it's no big deal. But if you saw a purple cow, that would stand out. So how do you stand out in the field of marketing? That's by Seth Godin. I like Seth a lot. We have another Seth Godin, free prize inside. I bought this at the half price bookstore, and it's how to make a purple cow. So the books go hand in hand. There you go. And then last but not least, this is one of my default twos, is The Little Red Book of Selling by Jeffrey Gitomer. It's a quick read. It's laid out pretty nice. I like how he's got little pictures and side notes, and he is pretty much in your face, no apologies, because one of those things like if you work for a company and they won't buy you a laptop and you're upset, you just go buy your own freaking laptop. Just go do it. You don't need permission to go buy stuff. So I like that style of learning. That's how I learn.
Mike, that's actually you.
Yes.
You buy a new product, you come into the office every week and are like, hey, Sadie, I thought about doing this. I had an idea. So I went out and spent this amount of money on this. And it's like, what? I can see where that came from now. No wonder that's your favorite. It's funny.
Yeah, I've it's interesting because I was self-employed for many years. So if you wanted to do something, you didn't have to ask anybody. You just went and did it. And then when I started working for senior marketing specialists, they're like, if I want to do something, and nothing against senior marketing specialists, but there are protocols and procedures in place, and I don't do well with those. I see something I want, I'll go buy it. I don't want to have a meeting about it. And plus I was raised Catholic, so we just ask for forgiveness. We don't ask permission. The old adage is you never pray for a bike, you still want and ask for forgiveness.
Oh.
So I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying it's how I was raised. Not saying that you should be doing that.
Please.
Yes, Rick, my face is bigger than Sadie's because Sadie's in an actual studio. I'm at home in my home office. So, I could zoom out if you want. You see more of my desk, which is a disaster. But yeah, I just, you get to see all of me. You're welcome. The last book, The Little Red Book of Selling by Jeffrey Gitomer. It's old. So here's when I bought this at an airport when I remember exactly the year, it was 2005 because I started with Humana. And I was at the airport getting ready to fly to Louisville, Kentucky for training. And I was looking for something to read on the plane. And I picked up this book and it's been with me ever since. I've probably read it about 12 times. Or thumb through it at least. I like the fact it's hardcover. It's got this little thing to keep your page, but it's just a good It's a good read.
Okay,
I
so Mike, I
will
want
say
to ask.
this. What's that?
Oh, no, go ahead. I have a
Oh,
question about that though.
oh, I was going to say a lot of these books are very, very, you could read 10 sales books and you'll see some common themes. So it's just a matter of whose style connects with you the most.
Okay, so you said you bought that in like 2005.
Yep.
Do you think that there are some things in there that are outdated, or do you think that it's a broad overview enough of just sales in general that even now we can apply those same things?
It's, because you can go back to, what is it? How to win, make friends and influence people. That infamous Dale Carnegie one. The principles haven't changed. Being human hasn't changed. Yes, marketing's changed a lot because we have the internet, Facebook, social media, Google AdWords, all these things have changed so that your marketing distribution can change, but the principles of selling are still the same. And I think there's enough information in here to still be relevant in the process of selling. This isn't going to change everything you do in life. It's just going to give you some good inspiration. Even Seth Godin stuff is how to stand out. Free prize inside and purple cow. I mean, they're still good principles. Yeah, it might be a little dated here and there, but that doesn't mean you can't apply in other parts of your agency. So
That's fair.
that's just, you can't, being human hasn't changed a whole lot in the past 100 years, other than trying to be more decent people. Hi. Megan says hi.
Hi, Megan.
Gitmer says cold calling is dead. Do you believe that? And you got to remember, a lot of these authors, their audience is sales in general. So when I hear messages about this is dead or that's dead or this is obsolete, they're talking about sales 101 when we have our own little pigeonholed, senior market for Medicare insurance, as opposed to, senior market could be DME supplies and all those other things. Is cold calling dead? For a lot of markets, yes, but for our market, it's still thriving. So one of the podcasts I still listen to today is the Advanced Selling Podcast. I like that podcast a lot. They come out, I think, twice a week now, once or twice a week. I forget, but they do a lot of business to business advice because the bulk of their listening base is business to business people. So I may get some good nuggets here and there. Again, I'm not looking to change everything I'm doing. I'm just like, how can I enhance this? Ooh, that's a good idea. I could take it, modify it, and make it work for me here. So that if you go in with the open mind of, I hope to learn a couple good points, you're going to be happy. If you go in with, I think this is going to change everything I do, you're going to be upset and think the book is horrible, or the podcast is horrible, or the video is horrible, or the training is horrible. If you just use it for inspiration, not for transformation. Let's see. Rick says, Sales Lessons from the Masters by Ken Smith, even better audiobook. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton out there. Again, you're going to get the same message for the most part in all of them. It's just a matter of which style talks best to you. The couple of people asked about the book. Okay, so I'm going to go through again. I realize I went quick. Little Red Book of Selling by Jeffrey Gitomer. He's got a whole series of these books, by the way. Purple Cow by Seth Godin. Seth Godin again, free prize inside. And See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. These are ones I actually purchased, obviously. And then Obsessed by Emily Hayward, Heyward. It's called Obsessed. And my favorite goals book is, let me look at my library real quick, Finish by John Acuff, Acuff. And it looks like this. It's a big banner. Oops, sorry. I'm going through it again, actually, but there's Finish by John Acuff. And again, didn't revolutionize how I did my goals, but gave me some good nuggets. So that's all I'm going for whenever I'm reading a book, is what good pieces can I pull out. And a lot of the trainings we do are inspired by stuff we read, we listen to, we watch.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that helps you. The
I
business
like
pod. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I like what Rick said. He said the lesson from every master is enthusiasm. If you're not enthusiastic about your product, you can't convey it properly. 100%, yeah.
Yeah, because like there are some people I expect to be mundane. My CPA, she's a little crazy. I like her though. But I don't expect my CPA to be enthusiastic about taxes. I expect him to be accurate with my taxes and make sure I don't, one, I'm not giving him too much, and two, I'm not getting audited. So that's my goal. But I don't expect to go in there and be wowed by my CPA. However, when it comes to when I'm buying a car or when I'm talking to a salesperson, I expect some enthusiasm, some I'm happy you're here and I can't wait to show you what I have, because the more excited you are, the more excited you're going to convey to your client, and the more excited they're going to be. They're going to feed off your energy, like Rick said. So if you walk in there like, yeah, it's Medicare, it's boring, it's no one likes this. I know it's a necessary evil. I'm going to be like, oh, I don't want to buy anything because I'm too depressed now.
Right.
So if you go in there like, we're going to help you, we're going to make sure you get the right coverage and you can be happy, because I've been told I've been kind of an extrovert. Uh, if you display that with the clients, they're going to have the same enthusiasm back. Even if they are dull, you'll start to see them loosen up a little bit, hopefully. Not all of them, because some are just, old ratchety people, but it happens.
Sure.
Like my wife, who can hear me right now, but got her AARP card in the mail. Ha ha. Old lady.
No, don't you dare.
She's younger than me, everyone. So the Business to Business podcast is advanced selling podcast. So highly recommend that. I've been listening to it for years.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's by far my favorite selling podcast. And they're 20 minutes. The first 5 minutes is, them just casually, it's kind of like the cafe. They casually talk for the first 5 minutes. You find out a little about them. They tell little anecdotal stories, and then they get into it. And a lot of their format is we take a topic. Brian says his 5 things. Neil says his 5 things. And sometimes they match, sometimes they don't. And then they end the podcast. So it's a great format. If you're driving to work or an appointment or wherever you're going, you can throw it on real quick and listen. So highly, highly, highly recommend it. And again, a lot of the stuff we do here is based on what these books, what these podcasts, what these videos, stuff we get from that. Another one I want to say that if you haven't done this, some of the most successful agents I know will kind of get a niche. Yes, if you are a Medicare insurance agent, you specialize in Medicare, but you can go even deeper and, maybe you become the local expert on diabetes. So it doesn't mean you're retracting from your Medicare book of business. You just are adding to it. You're adding to that you are really good with diabetes and you have additional resources for diabetics, not necessarily policies, but resources. So the more you get known in these small niches and these small crevices of Medicare, the more people will talk about you. Like my friend Chris that did this, and he was part of the Cosmopolitan Society, which I never heard of, but they work with diabetic societies. The American Diabetic Association, get known there, or pull their resources. Heart conditions, local resources, like what I did with Jewish Family Services in Kansas City, where I would talk about their programs all the time. Basically, they got a free marketer out of me, and I got to share what they're doing. Oh, my dog's hacking up. Sorry. Coco, you okay? I know. Okay. So sorry, I have a 14-year-old lab. She could, they do that. But they got a free marketer, and I got to share additional resources and benefits with my clients. It didn't cost them anything. In fact, they were saving lots of money by going through Jewish Family Services. So if you could become that local person to go to for that information, that makes you more referable than just a Medicare insurance agent. So highly, highly, highly recommend going to your neighborhood, Google search, local resources for seniors or something like that, and start talking to these organizations that are already helping your clients. And now you could take it a step forward and be that person known to get that. Because I had lots of my clients get home improvements for next to nothing because Jewish Family Services had a program that would allow them to get home modifications on a sliding scale depending on their income. So if they can afford to get a ramp on the front of their house, now they could. They can afford to get grab handles in their bathroom, now they could. And that's how people start talking. I noticed at Jewish Family Services, when they ever had the questions about Medicare, they started calling me. So it really is reciprocal. So highly, highly, highly recommend that.
Being able to do that, you're leveling up your agency, you're leveling up your brand. Whenever people can come to you as an advisor, you're not an advisor until you can help out with more than just the bare minimum. So being able to refer them, you can't help them with these things, but being able to refer them, they're trusting you as more than just taking care of their insurance. You're establishing a better relationship. They're trusting you with more things, which all comes with time, of course, but you're most definitely leveling up whenever you're able to advise people on things outside of just what you're licensed to do, basically.
I like that. Leveling up your agency. We're going to steal that.
Trademark.
Yeah, so definitely, and like, it's like going to the doctor. If you go to a doctor and you're like, oh, my throat hurts, and you're at your primary care physician's office, he goes, well, I don't do throat stuff. Have a nice day. You're like, well, I know you may not specialize, but where do I go? What do I do? I don't know what to do now. Is it up to me to find an ear, nose, throat specialist? No, you expect your doctor to go, I can't help you with that. I'm going to refer you to Dr. Shivago over here that does throat work. So be that similar resource to your clients. And again, you can specialize in something without retracting from the rest of your business. So don't think that, well, if I become indebted into diabetes, that it's going to retract from everyone else. No, it's in addition to. It's like that Batman tool belt. You're just putting more tools on the belt. Yeah, that's a nice visual there. So hopefully that answers all your questions. I am all for becoming an avid reader and student of sales. Videos, TED Talks, podcasts, books. It's easier than ever to get information. Because I remember when I went to a seminar when I was with Humana, the only way to get the information from this guy talking was to buy all his stuff, which I did. And it was okay. It wasn't great. But now, you could drive to the grocery store and get some great pieces of sales or marketing information for free, as opposed to having to buy a CD or buy a MP4 or whatever, back in the day, buy a tape. Remember what those were, the reel-to-reels. I'm sure Sadie doesn't know what those are, but yeah, kidding. I know she does. But you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to worry about it. You got it all on your phone, and half of it's free. In fact, more than half it's free. So I know a lot of people that listen to TED Talks on their phone. They just play the video on their phone, throw it in their console, and drive and listen, because it's just someone talking on stage. You don't need to watch it, and don't watch videos while you drive, by the way. So hopefully this helps you further your agency. Of course, if you are looking for, if you're looking for file expense, which we're talking about today on the Crosslink Symposium, excuse me, or yesterday we talked about dental vision hearing plans. If you're looking for a review of your portfolio, make sure you got the right products, maybe dust off the products that's in there, give us a call. You can go to smsteam.net under products. You can see everything we have on hand.
Not quite everything. There might be some things on there that we do offer that don't show up on the website. That happens here and there. I actually just ran into it the other day and I had to have someone send me some stuff. So if you don't see something on our product page and you feel like maybe we might have it or you still want to have a discussion about it, go ahead and give us a call, because we might actually offer it, have a lot of information on it. It's just not on the website.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, you could also live chat. If you're like, I don't want to call and talk to somebody, because who does that anymore? You could always do the live chat on smsteam.net. Don't forget, all this week we got the Crosslink Symposium, 11 o'clock, so in a half hour, we'll be talking about final expense insurance and how to have that conversation with your clients. Tomorrow is hospital indemnity, then cancer, then home health. So you just have to register once for the whole week. You don't have to come to all of them. You can come to one that's more predominant to your agency or one you want to learn more about, or come to all of them. We are easy, whichever one you want. And then, of course, we go live every Friday at 9 o'clock on Medicare Cafe page. And today Friday, we're going to talk about cancer costs and some things to consider with your clients if they are worried about contracting or being diagnosed with cancer, not contracting cancer, but being diagnosed with cancer, and some things to think about if they are diagnosed with cancer ahead of time. So because it's hard to be reactionary and try and insure it when it already happened. You can't call Allstate saying, I hit a tree, how do I insure my car? You got to have it before it happens. Let's see. What companies do you represent for long-term care? I don't know off the top of my head. We got like what 90 carriers, so I don't know who's in that. Again, if you have a login to smsteam.net, if you don't, you request one, and you can download all the brochures, the rate guides, the contracting forms. You can just do it all there. So I would say go look and check it out. I think there's a list on that page, even if you don't register. You just can't get the the applications, the brochures and such. So definitely check it out again. And also will vary on state. So we probably have all 50 states on here today. It's hard to say what's in what state. Do you know the price of sales dollars? It's $99 a month for 3 lines and data. That's a special through senior marketing specialist. I'm pretty sure it's on our leads page. So if you go to smsteam.net, go to services and scroll down to leads. I believe there's a link in there to give you more information. So definitely check that out. If you want more information, give us a call. Sales dialers, I think it's called Prospect Boss now, actually. They've been around for a long, long time. Very, very popular, very easy system to use. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. And it's month to month. So if you decide I'm going to try cold calling and a couple months goes by and you're like, nope, I hate this, you're not locked into a year contract, which is nice.
Yes.
Let's see. Diane, please tell me why your e-enrollment won't allow me to complete a Mutual of Omaha, or I'm sorry it's Mutual of Omaha enrollment without underwriting for a guaranteed issue client. No idea, never tried it. I would say call our support team. They're the ones that can dive into those problems. I can tell you it's a glitch in the system probably, and it's something we need to know, because if you had a problem, unfortunately it may be an IT issue. I don't know. Oh, Missouri, thank you. I'm not sure if it was Mutual of Omaha or Missouri. And that's another one too, because not every state has that guaranteed issue time. So it may be a glitch in the system. Call our support team so they could dive into it and maybe put a trace on it. But yeah, if it's an IT issue, they can correct it on the back end. If it's not, we can go from there. But that's what our support team's there for.
Yes, and then also just to clarify, just to make sure, because we ran into this, are you using Medicare Center, or are you still trying to use Enrollment Express? Because Enrollment Express shouldn't be a thing. I don't even know if the website is still up right now, but do just want to make sure. But if there are questions, please give us a call, because our support team has been handling those things. And yeah, there are little weird glitchy things that happen all the time. That's not necessarily anyone's fault. So give us a call. Let's see.
Yeah, again, so for me to say what happened without seeing, anything, it's hard. I can speculate all day long, but that's not gonna help anyone. So definitely give our support team is there just for that. So give them a call. And again, if you have an issue at all with anything, that's what they're there for. I can tell you, I've been on the other side of the fence as an agent working with FMOs, and I sometimes would hate calling them, because you call them and all of a sudden you get a sales pitch. Hey, have you heard about this new product in Kansas or Missouri? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, I just have an issue. I want you to help me. I'm not here to hear a sales pitch. So please help me. And then you can call me tomorrow and we can talk about that. But you telling me about this today is helping nobody. In fact, it's just making me more mad. So we hopefully won't do that. I don't think we do, especially our support team, because our support team doesn't do enrollments. They just do, or contracts. They just do support. So give them a call or give us a call and say, hey, I need to talk to supports because I got an issue. And they'll get you over there, and then you don't have to worry about trying to be sold the latest, greatest, who knows what's happening in the market, because that drove me bonkers every single time.
Judy has a good question. She said, will there be any training on Medicare Center? Yes, there will be. We're in the works of getting that. Right now, all that we have, we're in the works of SMS, senior marketing specialists, building our own trainings. I believe we're going to have webinars as well, the way that we did with Enrollment Express. We're going to have all those videos, whatnot. Those are all in the works right now. So yeah, be looking out for those updates on whenever those trainings are coming out.